The cameras flashed. The crowd literally froze. And just like that, Hollywood had a new obsession. Because every single Kardashian showed up to the Met Gala steps. But you know who didn't? Kylie's boyfriend. He was nowhere to be found.
I mean, it was the only thing anyone was talking about. Total radio silence on his end while the entire family just commanded the carpet.
Exactly. And welcome to Starscope Report. Join Jordan and Jamie as they uncover Hollywood drama, music industry shakeups, and viral influencer scandals. From red carpet surprises to social media controversies, we dive deep into the stories behind the fame.
And today's deep dive is a big one. It's May 5th, 2026, and we are right on the heels of last night's Met Gala.
We really are. And we're not just looking at the gossip columns today. We've pulled from glossy fashion editorials like W Magazine and Vogue, but we also brought in some dense, peer-reviewed academic papers from Brunel University in fashion studies.
Right, because our mission today is to figure out how this family went from uninvited reality TV punchlines to, honestly, the absolute arbiters of American beauty and wealth.
Yeah, and we're looking at how they used haute couture, extreme body modification, and you're going to love this religion, to literally conquer the steps of the Met Gala and the global consciousness.
And just a quick warning to you listening, if you think this is just a fun recap of pretty dresses, it is not.
Oh, not at all. This is a story about the policing of women's bodies, the commodification of race, and what we're calling the gospel of glamour.
Well said. So let's start with last night, the 2026 Met Gala.
The theme was fashion is art. And, I mean, Kylie Jenner showed up in this custom Schiaparelli dropped ball gown that it just defies logic.
The sheer scale of it. I was looking at the specs this morning, and it's staggering.
Okay, get this. It took 11,000 hours to make.
11,000 hours. That's literally years of labor.
Yeah. If one artisan worked on that for 40 hours a week with no vacations, that's over 5 years of continuous human labor poured into one dress in a single night.
That is insane.
It featured this Renaissance-style Somato effect, 2,000 satin stitching balls, 10,000 natural Baroque pearls, and 7,000 painted pearlescent fish scales.
So it's not even a dress at that point. It's like an architectural monument to infinite wealth.
Exactly. But what's so wild is when you compare that 2026 masterpiece to where this family started.
Oh, the humble beginnings. Because for years, Anna Wintour notoriously kept them completely off the guest list.
Total ban. Kim only got in back in 2013 because she was Kanye West +1.
Right, and she wore that Givenchy floral maternity gown by Riccardo Tisci.
The one with the built-in gloves.
Yes, and the public reaction to that was just, it was brutal.
The memes were everywhere. People were comparing her to an old floral couch or like Mrs. Doubtfire.
And she actually admitted later that she cried the whole way home.
Which is so sad, honestly. But okay, let's unpack this. Because you don't go from crying in a car in 2013 to command 11,000 hours of custom Schiaparelli without a serious plan. Like a long-game siege of a royal court.
It really is. It was an incremental takeover. Kendall debuts in 2014, but she's wearing Topshop.
Right. Fast fashion at the Met.
Exactly. Then Kylie gets in around 2016 in Balmain, and they just keep chipping away until, boom, 2022.
A total takeover.
W Magazine officially declared it. All 5 sisters were there. Kourtney was in Tom Brown with Travis Barker. Khloé was in Moschino, and Kris Jenner was there, just presiding over all of it. They completely conquered the steps.
And if you're loving these Hollywood twists, make sure you're subscribed. We've got even crazier stories ahead. Because securing their place in that high-fashion court took a lot more than just wearing the right clothes.
Right. They had to engineer their actual bodies to fit the narrative.
Yeah, and that brings us to the 2019 Met Gala, the camp theme.
This was a huge moment.
Kim wore that Thierry Mugler latex wet look dress. It was inspired by Sophia Loren. But nobody was looking at the latex. Everyone was freaking out over the custom Mr. Pearl corset underneath.
Because it pulled her waist into this physically impossible, cartoonish shape.
And the medical backlash was immediate. According to the fashion studies paper we read, the media completely panicked.
Oh, there were those rumors people actually believe she surgically removed her ribs for it.
Yes. Magazines like Women's Health were warning people about damaged ribs and restricted oxygen. It was this massive moral panic.
But if we connect this to the bigger picture, this is a perfect mirror of the 19th century dress reform movement.
Wait, really? How so?
Well, back then, male doctors used corsets as a scapegoat to control women's bodies. They claimed corsets caused everything from stupidity to defective genetics.
Stupidity. From a corset.
Yeah, and even prolapsed uteruses. They used medical authority to police what women wore.
Okay, that is wild.
Yeah.
But it highlights this massive double standard that the academics point out. because Kim isn't the only one wearing extreme corsets.
Right. Think about Dita Von Teese.
Or drag queens. Violet Chachki literally wore a Mr. Pearl corset on TV, and everyone praised it as brilliant countercultural art.
Exactly. But when Kim does it, she gets shamed because society sees her as famous for nothing.
And what's even crazier, society criticized her for the artificiality of the corset. But at the exact same time, they were criticizing her for using a surrogate for her kids.
Which she only did because she had a life-threatening condition called placenta accreta.
Right. So they're demanding she risk her literal life to perform natural womanhood while shaming her for performing unnatural beauty. They just want to police her body from every angle.
It's exhausting just thinking about it. But here is where it gets really interesting. Because while that corset was temporary, the Kardashians' actual physical bodies act as media.
Yeah, they're like trends that get bought, worn, and then completely discarded. And that's not even the wildest part. Wait until you hear what came next.
We have to talk about the Brunel University paper and the concept of surplus citizenship.
Yes. Break that down for us, because this blew my mind.
So, historically, thin, white bodies enjoyed what sociologists call neutral citizenship. You're just the default. But during the Obama era, Black aesthetics suddenly became highly commodified.
And the academic perspective here, we're just reporting what the sociologists say, is that the Kardashians used their wealth and white privilege to engage in blackfishing.
Right. They adopted the Brazilian butt lift, the BBL, to mimic Black and Latina aesthetics purely for profit.
And the numbers are staggering. The global BBL procedures went from around 59,000 in 2010 to over 820,000 by 2022.
Over 800,000? That is a massive cultural shift. But what's fascinating here is what happened next.
Because the trend ended.
Exactly. As soon as regular people could afford the BBL, the elite trend cycle just moved on.
It's literally like a billionaire casually returning a rented luxury car because the model went out of style. They just toss it back and leave the rest of the culture with the whiplash.
And we saw this pivot back to thin, white aesthetics clearly in 2022.
The Marilyn Monroe Jean-Louis dress.
Yes. Kim dropped 16 pounds in 3 weeks just to fit into that archival symbol of white history. It was the ultimate country club BBL rebrand.
So they just adopt and discard these marginalized aesthetics whenever it suits them financially?
Pretty much.
But later in the episode, we'll talk about the shocking twist nobody saw coming. How on earth do they justify all this intense commodification and extreme wealth to the American public?
Stay tuned and hit that subscribe button so you don't miss what's coming next, because the answer is actually religion.
Yeah, prosperity Christianity. It's this gospel of glamour.
According to Kris Jenner's own memoir, she genuinely viewed her path to fame as God-given.
She talked about meeting Robert Kardashian, right?
Yeah, he was a born-again Christian. He carried an engraved leather Bible everywhere. And they would attend these lavish services at Pat Boone's sprawling Beverly Hills mansion with all these Hollywood stars.
So the faith was always tied to wealth and elite access.
Yeah, absolutely. And Kris explicitly aligned her cosmetic surgeries with her faith.
Wait, she got a breast augmentation in 1988, right?
Yes, and later a neck lift, which she described in her book as a transcendental epiphany.
A transcendental neck lift. I just can't wrap my head around that.
It's prosperity Christianity. Physical perfection is seen as Christian self-care.
Which perfectly explains that wild scene on their Hulu show, the Kim Air Rescue.
Oh, this raises such an important question about public relations. Set the scene for us.
Okay, so Tristan Thompson's mother tragically dies, and his disabled brother, Amari, needs rescuing from Toronto. So Kim drops everything and uses her massive luxury private jet to fly up there and save them.
And how is it framed on the show?
It is pure PR. They frame Kim as this literal angel. Chloe's looking at her on the plane going, "You're an angel."
So this private jet, which is usually a symbol of extreme carbon emissions and greed, suddenly becomes a divine tool for a Christian mission of charity and forgiveness.
Exactly. It totally obfuscates the reality. They use this Protestant work ethic rhetoric to hide all the artificiality.
Like Chloe tweeting about her 5 a.m. prayers.
Yes. She conflates her grueling workouts and prayers, framing her surgically enhanced body as the righteous result of just working hard and having faith.
And Kourtney even baptized her kids at the Echmiadzin Cathedral in Armenia to tie their billionaire status to ancient Christian roots. It grounds them in this wholesome American dream narrative.
It's brilliant, honestly. Terrifying, but brilliant.
So what does this all mean for us?
Well, we've gone from Kim crying in a floral Givenchy dress in 2013 to engineering their bodies with corsets and BBLs to cloaking their entire empire in the rhetoric of prosperity Christianity.
And they really are just holding a mirror up to society's deepest anxieties about class, race, and women's bodies.
Yeah, which leaves you with a pretty heavy thought to mull over.
Mm.
If physical bodies, racial aesthetics, and religious faith are just high-fashion trends that the ultra-wealthy can buy, wear, and discard.
What happens to the rest of the culture?
Exactly. What happens to the rest of us who have to permanently live in the bodies and cultures that they're just trying on for size?
It's definitely something to think about the next time you see them on the red carpet.
You've been listening to Starscope Report, where Jordan and Jamie uncover the stories shaping Hollywood, music, and pop culture. Thanks for tuning in, and don't forget to subscribe for more stories that keep the stars shining.